Hey everybody, Brendan here, welcome back to another tournament game analysis video. We're going to be covering round 6 of the Quebec Open. I just had my first loss, which was a devastating one because I was winning for most of the game, and then my final move I just threw away the win. It was like one of the only moves to lose the game. Now I'm playing against Kevin, and I'm still on tilt. I haven't really had too much time to mentally recover, and we're going to see some problems because of that. Let's see how it goes. We see the English, which already is not something I'm happy with because I did not do any English prep for this tournament. Or even like over the past few months, I was focusing on improving my E4 and D4 openings because that's what I'm most likely to see. I didn't really see much of the English in the first place, so in the few games that I did, I was just willing to go like kind of free ball it. I play c6 here, and this is just kind of like a funny idea of like, hey, if they want to play d4, I'll play d5 and we'll just enter a semi-Slav. Instead they play e4, so instead of a semi-Slav we're actually going to be entering the Caro-Kann after d5. So yeah, if you see instead of c4, if you see e4 here, c6 and then d4, d5, you can see things like this and then c4. Or you can see, alternatively, c4 here. Yeah, so after c6, e4, d5, naturally. Takes, d4, and knight f6. So I'm just developing naturally, so we're going to get an isolated pawn position here. We see knight f6, I play knight c6, knight e5. I should have played g6 here. That's the most natural move, honestly. Bishop g7 and castle. Instead, I decided to take on c4 to try to force knight takes c6, which is what happened. And my idea here was I was going to try to get some like bishop a6 in. Which makes some sense. So bishop takes c4. And just something interesting to point out is bishop a6 looks also like a reasonable move here. And I could have gone into this, and I was considering it, but instead I decided to switch the move orders of going queen a5 check. If bishop d2, then I can just go queen b6, and bishop a6 is coming anyways, so not really a concern. But alright, I ended up playing queen a5 check. We see knight c3, and now bishop a6, which feels extremely comfortable here. They played queen b3. I played e6. There's no reason for me to immediately castle or worry about them like castling. Like no reason to take immediately, because when they take, then they're threatening the c6 pawn. So my idea is just to develop, and if they take, then I can prevent them from castling and also defend e6 or c6. They castle. I go bishop d6, and now they take. Which, again, it feels like I have a very equal position. And bishop g5, I probably should play bishop e7. I was being a little ambitious here. We'd probably see something like queen a4, actually. That's what the engine's giving. I don't know if that was actually 100% expected. Maybe something like rook d1 or rook e1 or something. But okay, I played knight d5, hoping for an exchange. For some reason, I was expecting it, which it's not forced by any means, and this is actually not good for white. And white, like, this is it feels like a 2-result game. Either black's gonna win or it's gonna be a draw, just because the isolated pawn is kind of the only imbalance in the position. Like, maybe I can get away with castling here, play like rook c8 or rook b8, and of course I don't think castling is the best immediate move, but this looks very, very promising, to say the least. Alright, so knight d5, knight e4, and here this is kind of what I mean by tilt from the last game, kind of seeped into this one. This is not a move I normally make. I was trying to be special. There's no reason to be. If I play bishop c7, this is totally fine. It's a little uncomfortable because the c pawn might be a little weak, but at the same time, it probably won't matter because the d4 pawn is quite weak in return. So even if we get into a position like this where we're probably just going to lose the pawn, I don't know how much it matters because d4 is so weak. We have pretty much full compensation for it at this point. But I played king d7, which is what I mean by I completely exploded. The idea was if they take, and then they play weird. Like, let's just say they go into a position like this, right? This is clearly bad. Now only we can win this, really. Like rook hb8, take over the b file. This is like a dream come true because we get a good knight versus bad bishop. The d4 pawn's weak. c6 is really well defended. But that's not what happened. Queen f3 was played. f5. And now we're seeing some of the problems with the knight. The king being here is... It's vulnerable to... Well, it's not defending the kingside pawns as well. And it's just vulnerable to attack. Bishop f4. I go king d7. Arguably king e7 made more sense. With the idea of trying to get over to f7 to defend everything. But this isn't really inspiring much hope if we see a position like this. Because there's queen h5 check g6 and then queen h6. And h7 is going to fall. G7 is also extremely weak. This is losing for sure. The only imbalance is like knight for bishop, but also my king is extremely weak. So I play king d7. We see bishop e5, rook hg8. Queen h5, rook af8, and yeah, I obviously lose the pawn. Rook f7, and then g5. So I tried to make some counterplay on the king side. It's not really any hope at this point, though. There's no hope. Queen c5 is annoying, threatening to go into d6. I play knight c8, rook ac1. I play f4. Yeah, maybe going for like f3 or g4, g3. Rook c3. Now I can't really play f3 as easily because they might just take it. I go queen b6, offering a queen trade, which is still pretty hopeless, honestly, because I'm down material. But the hope is to fight on at least a little bit. Like, the problem is rook a3 is also extremely annoying, and it's not really a good way to deal with it. I would love to play knight a7 and king c8 at the same time if I could. Like, let's just pretend I'm able to. Then this would be nice, but even still, this isn't even good for us, because they can just target everything from both sides. All right, so queen a3, g4, rook b3. I play queen d8, and after queen a6, I actually just end up resigning because it's clear I'm gonna lose, and it was really stupid that I played like this in the first place. There was no reason to. Like, the only reason I did, I think, was overcompensating for the last game, which it felt like I shouldn't have lost. This one I should have lost because I was being really dumb, but it was an important lesson to learn that I have to, like, be more vigilant with how I'm playing and, like, not let the tilt get to me, because I immediately equalized out of the opening. Like, there was no reason I should have lost this game. There's no reason. Absolutely none. But little old me had to play something like king d7 for no reason. Yeah, so that's very frustrating. But that's how the game went. And I ended up losing it. So it's unfortunate, but yeah, the tilt got to me. And I have to be honest, the tilt affected me for the rest of the tournament, and we're going to see a sharp decline in play after the first few games, which is no fun. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. Probably not much to learn from this one, besides some psychological stuff, but regardless, that's the game. Have a good one, and I'll see you next week with game number 7. Bye-bye.